The James Webb Telescope is orbiting around the Earth with its gaze directed towards the farthest reaches of the universe. It's taking some stunning pictures of the distant edges of space. Last week, NASA released a picture of two galaxies forming, but people noticed a strange shape in the picture, which for all the world looks like an orange question mark. It's probably two galaxies merging, but to our eyes it looks like a question mark just hanging there in space. You want to Google James Webb question mark and the image is sure to come up, but wait till you get home. Don't do it now. There was some unauthorised Googling during the 8 o'clock Mass. Questions of who we are and why we are here, it seems, are something of a cosmic conundrum. Jesus turns this conundrum into a very earthy and personal question this week. If you remember 2 weeks ago, Peter sank like a stone into the lake. This week, Jesus praises his rock-like qualities. Being a rock, it seems, has both advantages and disadvantages. Peter's impetuosity is on full display again today as he jumps in head first and proclaims his belief that Jesus is God's anointed one. It must be said that given everything that Peter and the other disciples had seen up to this point, it was a pretty safe bet that there was something extraordinary about Jesus. Despite his clear-eyed statement today, Peter would spend the rest of his life trying to work it out, trying to work out sometimes clumsily the implications of it all. It becomes a question not only of Jesus' identity, but also Peter's, and by extension, the identity of each of us. The answer to the question, who am I, is closely linked to the question, who are you? They are, in fact, inseparable. In psychology, working out who we are is called our self-concept, or our self-understanding. We develop certain self-understandings about our identity and we say, both consciously and unconsciously, I am this sort of person, or I'm that sort of person. I'm good at this, or I'm no good at that. Throughout our life, our self-concept is continually challenged. And if we are mature and emotionally healthy, we learn to adapt and change. If not, our identity becomes fixed and we resist change, and regardless of realities, we can operate out of a false conception of ourselves and others for that matter. Often enough, it is personal or moral failure, or ill health, or times of crisis that really challenge our self-concept. And we find that we need to recalibrate both ourselves and those around us. From what we know of Peter, his self-concept was very much open to change. He sank, he failed, he denied Christ, he initially misread the church's mission, but it seems he allowed each of these moments to be moments of transformation for him. Perhaps he returned in his memory over and over again to this one central moment of clarity. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. He wasn't just saying something about Jesus. He was also saying something about himself and his own convictions and life direction. His statement is as much a surrender as it is a validation. The same is true for us. Our statement of faith, even just by being here today, is an expression of our willingness to continue the journey, the pilgrimage, without a need for absolute clarity. We are here because we too say, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Yet, like Peter, we're not entirely sure what the implications of this are for ourselves. What does it all mean for our own self-concept? The question that Jesus asks is a deeply personal one, and there's no escaping from it. But you, who do you say that I am? Jesus isn't interested in what others have told us. Jesus wants to know what you and I believe, where you and I stand. He wants us to consider who we are. Jesus is saying it's not enough just to recite the creed or come to Mass. Who am I for you? What have you discovered about me so that I can reveal to you who you are? Like Peter, our response to this question is really just the beginning. Our life's task is to work out the implications of it all. And like Peter, it's often our sinking failures that reveal much about ourselves and our relationship with the living God. The answer that we offer never finishes with a full stop. It's an open-ended response, and one that we will need to return to throughout our life, again and again and again. Today we stand with Peter and seek to discover more about ourselves and one another in the light of Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. In all the changing reality of life and the world, we seek out solid foundations which we can hold on to, and that will help us travel on firm ground. Like Peter, we surrender ourselves in faith, not because we believe that this provides us with absolute certainty, but because we know that this is the only way that we can be our true selves. With Peter, we say, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." May Christ turn to us and offer us the blessing of joy which he bestowed upon Peter. May we be happy that we discover the truth of our own identity when we recognise and acknowledge the face of the living God in our very midst.